Fulton County, Georgia, District Attorney Fani Willis has filed a 15-page response to U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham's motion to squash a subpoena ordering him to appear before a grand jury. The grand jury in Georgia is hearing evidence of former President Trump and his allies' illegal attempts to overturn the state's 2020 presidential election result and prevent Joe Biden from taking power. Let's watch as Senator Graham discussed his legal case with Fox News on Sunday night.
All right, before I let you go, the district attorney in Georgia is apparently a huge fan of yours, and she's even willing to go to court for a chance to meet you in person. That's how much she wants to meet you in person. Oh, look, you and I are laughing. It's actually really serious. I mean, should all members of the House and Senate begin to block off time for state prosecutors going forward? Is that where we are?
Well, if we let county prosecutors start calling senators and members of Congress as witnesses when they're doing their job, then you're going to throw out of kilter our constitutional balance here. I've got a good legal case. I'm going to pursue it. But I just want to sort of end in this note. You love the law. I love the law. I've never been more worried about the law and politics as I am right now. How can you tell a conservative Republican that the system works when it comes to Trump? Look at what happened with Crossfire Hurricane. It was a joke of an investigation. People lied and manipulated the evidence. Look what happened to Hunter Biden. They gave him a complete pass, apparently, and the social media outlets in this country suppressed information that could have mattered. And if they try to prosecute President Trump for mishandling classified information after Hillary Clinton set up a server in her basement, they literally will be riots in the street. I worry about our country.
District Attorney Willis, who is leading the investigation into Trump and his allies, said in court filings that Graham's actions appear interconnected with the former president, and that the grand jury needed to hear from Graham about at least 2 calls he made to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger and his staff in the wake of the 2020 election. Senator Graham has made multiple attempts to avoid the subpoena for his testimony. In her response released Monday, Willis dissects and obliterates Graham's motion point by point, accusing him of merely resubmitting his original arguments, which the court has already rejected. She also destroys Graham's central argument that his telephone call to Georgia Secretary Raffensperger had a legislative purpose. Willis writes, because Senator Graham largely repeats the same arguments he has already presented, he has failed to respond to this court's own findings. The most glaring example of this is the heart of the senator's position that his phone calls to Secretary Raffensperger were, by nature, inherently legislative acts, and the special purpose grand jury's inquiry actually only contemplates the phone calls. This is precisely the opposite of what this court has found. The specific activity at issue involves a senator from South Carolina making personal phone calls to state-level election officials in Georgia concerning Georgia's election processes and the results of the state's 2020 election. On its face, such conduct is not a manifestly legislative act. In addition to Senator Graham's legal entanglement with the Fulton County investigation, he is also facing scrutiny for suggesting that there will be riots in the streets if Trump is prosecuted over the mishandling of classified documents. Former White House ethics chief and law professor Richard Painter condemned Graham's comments, saying, "A senator who calls for riots in the streets if Trump is indicted should be expelled from the Senate. He's inciting January 6th all over again." Senator Graham does not have to run for re-election in South Carolina until 2026. But it's becoming more and more likely that he will have to testify before the Georgia grand jury. The litigation over the subpoena is back before U.S. District Judge Lee Martin May of the Northern District of Georgia, who had previously denied Graham's motion to squash the subpoena. A reply from Graham is due by Wednesday, and then May will once again consider whether to modify and partially squash Graham's subpoena. Thank you for watching Raw Story TV. Please be sure to visit us at rawstory.com. Stay informed and tap below to take action by liking, subscribing, and joining all those who like their news raw.